Okay. Hello, I'm Mr. Osborne. I'm going to be your online tutor for the next 5 place value sessions. I'm also going to record 5 fraction sessions, so I hope you will also join me for them. Before we get started, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a Year 6 teacher at Western Park Primary School in Southampton. When I'm not teaching, I'm being a dad, which I absolutely love. I also enjoy Lego, Marvel Comics, and supporting Southampton Football Club. I've got my own little Lego man, as you can see there. It was going to be from one of my pupils last year. Okay, that's enough about me. These sessions are designed to help you get yourself through place value, all the work you can do at home. If you ever get stuck, ask an adult. Don't forget, resilience is going to be really key in these sessions. I'm sure you're a resilient learner, as you've already shown that you've come to these sessions. So give it the best shot you can. If you do get stuck, stop it, rewind, go back, have another go at it. And like I said, always ask an adult if you need some help, if you're really stuck. Okay, let me share the screen. It's really strange looking at myself on the screen. Okay. And here we go. I'm just going to move myself over there. Okay, so session 1, place value. Let's hope this works. Here we go, finally. Okay, for this session, you will need a pencil, a paper, and a ruler if you have one. No worries if you don't have a ruler at home, but whilst we're in school, we love to use a ruler to make sure things are neat and tidy. If you do have a ruler, fantastic. If not, no worries, you'll still be able to take part in this session. So a pencil and paper. Get ready for a warm-up. So each session we will have a warm-up to begin with. I'll tell you what you need for the day, and I'll also tell you what you need for the session. And we will crack on to a warm-up session, which just to get our brains going. So nothing to get stressed about. Here we go. Write the numbers represented by the buttons on the place value grid and work out which one has the highest value. For an extra point, write the numbers in words. Here we go. And there you go. I'll give you 30 seconds, or you might want to pause the video and come back after 30 seconds with the answer. Okay, hopefully we got the answers. Let's have a look at this together. So then, as you can see, we have in place value grid A, the number 214,122 is really important when we're writing these numbers, both using numerals and words. We're using commas correctly to make sure we can pronounce and say the words correctly. In place value grid B, let's have a look. We have 223,214. So if I was to compare the two numbers, I'm looking at the hundred thousands of these numbers. I can see that they're both got 2 buttons in, but when I go to the 10,000s, I can see that number, letter B, sorry, has got 2 buttons in, therefore giving it 20,000. So let's have a look. If you said that it was B was the highest number, then well done, you are correct and off to a great start today. Okay, so today's learning, as you might have guessed, is all about reading and writing numbers to at least 10 million. Now, just pause the video there and have a think. What does 10 million actually look like? Imagine 10 million people, 10 million Smarties. Nice. Imagine 10 million pounds. That would be lovely. Okay, so always when we're working in maths, have a think what it looks like in the outside world. Try and really paint a picture of what 10 million means. Imagine writing a check. You probably don't know what checks are, but imagine how many zeros you're going to put down every time you write 10 million. Okay, so that's today's learning. So we're going to be learning to read, and we're going to be learning to write these numbers as well. Let's move on. He says we're going to move on. Oh, look at that. Nice bit of animation. Here we go. So this is a place value grid. Now, I'm hoping that through your journey through school, at one point you may have used a place value grid. This might be quite useful for today's lesson if you are to draw one down. So what I was saying about having a ruler, that'd be really useful for drawing those columns. But if not, just try and create the straightest line that you possibly can. Whilst you're drawing that down, I'm going to just talk through this place value grid. As you may see, it is different from our warm-up session where we've now added the millions column, the million column, okay, because we're looking now in year 6 at numbers up to 10 million. Okay, so that number before 10 million, which will be 9 million. So today we're going to be using this place value grid, and we're going to be looking at numbers all the way up to 10 million. Okay, if you want to take some time to draw that place value grid down so you've got it, that'd be fantastic. Just pause the video, get it down, and then come back. Okay, let's move on to what numbers look like in the place value grid. Now, I've got a number right here. I've got my place value digits. As you can see, we're going to be reading the number all the way from the left down to the right. Okay, so our millions, 100,000, 10,000, thousands, hundreds, tens. That should be units, ones. So let's have a look. A little click of a button. So we've got 3 in our millions column, 2 in our 100,000s column, 1 in our 10,000 column, 4 in our thousands column, 2 in our hundreds column, and we have 110 and 2 units or 2 ones. Let's have a look at what that looks like then, writing down. So like I said, we have our 3 million. We're going to say our thousands together, 214,000, comma, 212. So just to go back over that number, we have 3 million, comma, 214,000, comma, 212. At this point, you might recognize that after each 3 digits there, we have our comma. So let's have a look what that looks like written in words. Here we go. We have 3 million, comma, 214,000, comma, 212. Okay, fantastic. Let's move on. So here we go. Now we're going to put it into a bit of a context. So context, if you're wondering what the word context means, it means it's to give it a, you want to give it a sort of a context means to put it in a situation so you can understand it better. So if we were talking about money, for example, we have got here good context. Mr. Osborne wins 5 million, oh, imagine that, £230,000. Okay, so that's numbers up to 10 million written in words. So Mr. Osborne wins £5,230,000. Let's have a look how we can now write that out using numerals. Okay, now when I say numerals, I don't mean Roman numerals. Don't get confused. Some of my children tried to write millions in Roman numerals the other day. So numerals, just digits. So you're using your numbers. Okay, so I'd be having a look at the 5 million. I'm going to put 5 place value counters in my million column. 200,000. So therefore I must have 2 in my 100,000s column. And then we have 30,000. So I'm going to go to my tens, my 10,000s. I'm going to place 3 counters in my 10,000 column. Now we have the situation of we don't have thousands, we don't have hundreds, we don't have tens or ones, but they will be represented by 0. So our 0 placeholders. And here we go. £5,230,000. That would be nice. Okay, so we're quite building our confidence in being able to read numbers and write our numbers. So I'm going to let you have a go. So I've got a different context this time. Okay, it's got Mrs. Osborne spends £362,000 on pot plants. You can see the start up here. Okay, for the house. What does this look like in numerals? Okay, so pause the video. You've got your place value grid. Use your place value grid if you need to. If you don't need to, you're going to write it in numerals to show me. Okay. Okay, wonderful. So I'm hoping you're back. You've written out this number. We had the context of Mrs. Osborne spends £362,000 on pot plants for the house. And what does this look like? in our place value grid, we're going to place 3 in our 100,000s column. We're going to place 6 in our 10,000 column, and in our 1,000 columns we got 2, and then we'll have our 0 placeholders all the way down to 1, or our units. Okay, fantastic. Let's move on. So understanding the value of each digit within our place value grid, or even if you're not using a place value grid, is highly valuable, especially when we're going to move on in a session to looking at comparing numbers. Now, I'm just going to highlight some numbers. Hopefully it will come on, the animation will select. Now, here we have all of the 2s across the grid highlighted. Now, each 2 within this grid has a different value. Okay, now let's take that first number. Okay, if I look at the first number, I'm going to go to my grid. I'm going to look that it falls within the tens column. Okay, I have 2 10s. So the value of that number, therefore, must be 20. Okay, moving to my millions column, I can see I have 2 million. Therefore, that value of that number is 2 million. Then finally, if I look in my 10,000 column on the final number, I have 2 in there. So that is then 20,000. Just to confirm and show you, there we go. Okay, I'm going to pull up another grid. I'm going to highlight some numbers for you. Okay, and then you can pause the video there and write down. And then we will share and have a look to make sure you've got a good understanding of place value grid and the value of the digits. Okay, so nice and easy. I can hear you all saying, and you should be because you're in year 6. Okay, let's have a look. So that first number, the number itself is 334,023. What is the value of the 4 that is highlighted? Well, the value of that 4 is 4,000 because we have 4 and it's in our 1,000 column. Okay, if I look at our second number, which is 2,371,860, the value of the 3 in that number is 300,000. And then finally, in our final column, we have the number 329,400, and the value of that digit is 400. And here we go. Well done. We got those correct. Okay, so together, let's have a look at this part-whole question. Okay, now the part-whole model, as you can see in the top circle, we have 85,000, and then the number itself has been partitioned 2 ways below it. Okay, so if we look at the number below, we can see that we have partitioned it into 80,000, and the value of the other circle, therefore, must be, I can hear you saying it to me, 5,000. Nice and easy. Again, we're just breaking our numbers down and we're looking at the value of our numbers by partitioning. Now I'm going to move on to this number. Okay, now by now I'm sure you're confident to understand that's 52,100. This number has been partitioned 3 ways. So have a look. We have 50. We have our 2,000, so it's our 52,000, send it together, and then our missing number, therefore, must be 100. Have a look, animation's a bit slow. So there we go, 50 plus 2,000 plus 100 gives us 52,100. Okay, I hope you're nice and clear on that because this is your turn. Okay, I'm gonna get you to pause the video there, have a look at these partition numbers. So we have 79,000, we have 245,000. Okay, and I'm hoping you will be able to get the correct answers. I'm sure you will. Pause the video and then come back in maybe a couple of minutes to share your answers with me. Okay, hopefully you're back. And hopefully you can give me the correct answers. Let's have a look. So if we look at our something, add 9,000 equals 79,000. Nice and easy. That is going to be 70,000. Lovely. Then we have 245,000. If I'm looking at my model here, I have something equals 245,000. We have our 40,000, but we have something before, and then we have something after. So 245,000. Therefore, we must have. Oh, that was the answer from the previous one. We have 200,000. Add 40,000. Add 5,000 gives us 245,000. Okay, fantastic. So let's move on. Now, this is the part of the session where I've said, time for some questions. It should say independent. Okay, now we've worked through reading, writing numbers, looking at the values, looking at numbers in context, part whole models. So now it's over to you. Pause the video here. Give yourself enough time to really go through. If you struggle, don't forget, get help from maybe older brother or sister, or ask a parent, but give it a really good go. And please remember, if you don't get these right, okay, we learn through getting things wrong and then going back and giving it another go. So pause the video. I'm going to stop talking. You come back and then we'll share the answers together. Okay, hopefully you should be back. Hopefully it wasn't too tricky. Let's have a look at these together. Now, the question was, the school website gets 6,234,988 hits each year. That's a lot. What are the values of 6 and 9 in this number? Write your answers in numerals and words. So on your piece of paper, you should have the numbers, so the value of 6. As I read it out, I was giving you the answer really is 6 million. Fantastic. And it said write it in numbers and words. And then the value of 9. And we can see as we say the number, 6,234,900. Fantastic. Let's have a look at question number 2. 426,923 cookies were eaten at school last year. That's a lot of cookies. Okay, you've got 3 parts to this question. Write down the number of thousands, write down the number of hundreds, tens, and units, write the complete number. Okay, so 426,000, if you had written that, that would have given you the correct number. Fantastic. And the animation's giving you the other answers. Write down the number of hundreds, tens, and units. So we have 900, we have 2 in our tens, which gives us 20, and then 3 in our units. So 923. And then it says, write the complete number. Well, I'm sure you're all experts by now, so that should be no problem that you've written 426,000 using the comma 923. Final question. Look at the sum, work out the missing values. Okay, it's a part whole model again. So if I'm going to the final answer, we have 2,500,910. So 2 million, add 500,000 plus 900 and plus 10 should give you the correct answer. Okay, that brings us to our quick recap of today. Now, I'm hoping you found the session really useful and it's given you a real kickstarter to place value. Okay, today we have really looked at reading, writing numbers up to at least 10 million. Okay, we looked at them at different contexts. We looked at being able to identify the place value of different digits in numbers, and then we use those numbers in some questions. And I can tell that you've all done a fantastic job as well. Remember, if you did struggle with anything today, watch the video again. Unfortunately, you have to see me, but watch the video again, give the questions another go. Okay, slow it down, take your time. Okay, remember, by getting things wrong is a way of learning. Okay, and we just need to remember good resilience will get us to the right answer in the end. Okay, next time we're looking at order and compare numbers to at least 10 million. Just want to say thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.